Good morning, folks, and welcome back to the channel. So amongst all of the rustle, all of the rabble, we have had something good happen. This is supposed to be the final proposal in relation to the 800 million USTC. I really want this to go through. I want it to be burnt so that there's no more suggestions of these block changing states, these chain integrity risking God mode changes, and just doing this the correct way, because I don't ever want to see that as a last resort, right? It completely puts the whole chain into a compromised state. It is very, very, very slippery slope. So, getting these to burn is so important. You had a strong yes vote. But something to take note of with all of this is we only actually had around 46 validators out of the 117 validators vote. And that really goes to show just how little validators are actually involved in this blockchain and who are just here to simply collect the rewards and live off of the hype that's generated by others or from people building. But like I was saying, right, I've reached out to the proposer and I've asked him, when's this happening? What's going on? The proposal's in a past state. When's this going to happen? And I've simply been told they're figuring it out. And that is simply it. So what we're waiting for is obviously a confirmation that these funds are going to be completely burnt in their entirety, going simply from where they are to the dead wallet. And hopefully everything goes as it should, because this would be really good for the community. The reason why this is good, regardless of what happens with price, okay, if it goes up, if it goes down, we're going to get data. The reason why data is so important is this is the second time in our history as a blockchain that we've been able to burn a substantial amount of the supply, which is over 8%, okay, closer to 10%. Last time this happened, there was a price dump, okay, and it took some time to come back out of that price dump. Hopefully that doesn't happen again, because we're not going to be able to time this. I don't think it's all just going to happen and someone's going to notice that it's gone through. I don't think there's going to be much news put out there on this until the actual burn's made. But like I was saying, right, it's all down to Risk Harbor now, and it's down to the person who proposed this and has gone the route of proposing before they've gotten the green light, so to speak. It's one of those ones where in the future, if you do find this kind of funding, it's probably best to go speak to the people who've got the funding, align with them behind the scenes, and then bring it to governance, have it passed, have it approved, and then have it put into play, have the burn done. It's always better to do this because you're going to cause less problems, you're going to cause less panic, because the biggest issue we've seen is the USTC quant team have stated in their funding round proposal that they've been addressing zombie USTC. Well, I've addressed zombie USTC in all of the wallets in many of my videos. I could have located them quite easy. It's not complex stuff. You just go to the top holders on LUNC Dash or on Moonrunner, so to speak, and you can find what they're deeming as zombie USTC. The biggest issue with this zombie USTC is Binance has zombie USTC and LUNC that has not moved once since the crash, since the Repeg. And for example, they're not going to burn Binance's coins, are they? Why are they not going to do that? Well, because they're Binance's coins, but Binance is retail and those coins are zombie. So how is it fair for them to burn other people's coins? Now, the biggest issue I find with the Repeg is we've got a lot of desperate holders, we've got a lot of desperate people, and sometimes you could be blinded by greed and the idea of all of your coins going back to $1, and just this whole idea of $1 in general is a bit of a weird one. 10 cents would make most people millionaires depending on how much you invested or how much you're holding. So this $1 thing's kind of like a mind play. Now, like I was saying, it's a bit dangerous because ultimately the community is always going to side with the Repeg for the specific reason that anybody who is preventing the Repeg and stopping the Repeg or not funding the Repeg is the problem. But I think it runs a lot deeper than that. There are a lot of weird things going on currently at the moment. So for example, you've got Hexagon voting to fund the quant team they're obviously not realizing that by saying yes to that, okay, they're not going to have enough funding for the next round unless they burn USTC. Oh, we'd love that, wouldn't we? Unless they take the community pool USTC and change it into LUNC. The quant team are going to be highly against this, and the quant team aren't going to take USTC as payment because it's going to dump the price if you can even find enough market sales to get rid of that much USTC. So, like I was saying, Hexagon's voting yes to funding the Hexagon team, which is going to prevent them from getting funded next quarter. It's all just a bit peculiar because the quant team are then going to be of the attitude saying, well, they want to get funded with the USTC. It's going to dump the price. We shouldn't fund them, blah, 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 blah. You can see where this is going, chucking people under the bus. Now, another thing that I've seen come forward for a solution is that if we go to validators and we look at the validators that are voting and the descriptions of things, if we look at what people are changing their names to, it really speaks mountains. So 100% fund infrastructure and Terra Classic Station. Now, in order for them to do this and cover the running costs for their infrastructure, bear with me and hold your breath for this one, okay? Hold your breath. I had to turn my page for this. It would need a staggering 35% voting power at 5% commission. If LUNC price doubled, right? Let's say, playing devil's advocate in reverse, let's say LUNC price doubles, they would still need 18%. Now, what worries me once again is this funding the infrastructure. No, you're not funding it, right? All this is another all node situation playing out, right? All nodes already have a substantial amount of voting power, which is the equivalent to around 17%, which is half of what you need to fund Terra Rebels for a quarter. We are currently getting all of this infrastructure for free from all nodes, and now Hexagon are asking us to help them create another all node situation so they can just pretty much be all nodes. And it's all very concerning, right? Because these are all further power plays to get more voting power, more control over the chain, more funding, and generally just become the whole power that resides over this blockchain. And it's becoming quite obvious to me that none of these teams are thinking about the one another teams. They're just worried and concerned about their paychecks and stuff like that, and then also not upsetting the other team and, you know, playing sneaky stuff. But I don't think this has all been thought out very well. And, you know, with the issue with funding and stuff like that, it's all stuff to take into account. This deserves its own video. I'm going to put it its own video later on today. I'm going to go through stuff. I'll get visuals up on the screen. We'll go through the maths and we'll sort of break it down. But, you know, bringing in a dynamic commission rate would bring all nodes down to around 7-8%, right? How the Hexagon think that's going to work? And even still, once again, like, we're just funding them out of the Oracle rewards pool if we empower them with voting power, and it just doesn't make sense. It's like, once again, you know, what scares me the most is that the likelihood is the suggestion is going to be raise taxes and send it all to the community pool in order to tax the poor to pay the rich. So the rich become richer, their projects become bigger, and it's all just very peculiar. So at the moment, I don't have a lot of trust in any of these paid teams. I don't have trust in people that are going around looking for zombie USDC, saying they're able to burn it, then putting up 25 proposals and still not burning it. I'm starting to lose my trust in lots of different people because you're only as good as your word in this, and no one can seem to keep to their word. The L1 team and the Hexagon team, they're moving forward with funding, completely ignoring the community as if nothing's going on and I'm the only person that's moaning. But it's pretty obvious to everybody now. I'm team blockchain. I'm team LUNC. I don't sit on anybody's team. I sit here for the blockchain and simply for the blockchain. If that means that making a vote is probably going to lose me a load of voting power, people are going to hate me, but it was the right decision for the blockchain and for funding and everything, and so be it. That's what it costs to do the right thing, then that's what it costs. At the end of the day, we should never jeopardize our blockchain's integrity to burn zombie USTC, which we don't know who owns it. We don't know what powerful entity could possibly bring a lawsuit forward when the coin repegs to $1. They hear in the news and they're like, oh, we've got a load of those from the crash. They go in, they look, oh, where have their coins gone? Oh, we burnt them. They're not going to be happy, are they? So like I was saying, this whole next quarter thing, this funding thing, if you don't know about it by now, please go check out previous videos and try and get up to date with the funding situation, because you need 2.8 billion. It's nearly 2.9 billion. We are recalculating as often as we can. You've only got 1.7 billion LUNC next quarter. If you liquidate the Ustc, you'll get the equivalent of 1 billion LUNC, which would give you what you need, but no one is going to want to liquidate. Well, that's total horseshit. Someone's going to want to liquidate them, but it's not going to be the quant team, because they're going to be the ones who want to take the good credit for restoring the coin, bringing a repeg back. The biggest issue is right now, it's been a month and they still haven't shut down the Oracle Rewards Ustc reward system. That would have been your first point of call for a repeg, because you've got no chance of doing anything in these really, really poorly written white papers that they've given out on GitHub. It just, nothing seems to add up. It's really confusing, and it's sort of people are spending a lot of time in Twitter spaces. It's all becoming an L1 situation again, where we were seeing that sort of thing. And it's, how can you be in Twitter spaces all day and be working on a repeg, right? Exactly. Folks, stay safe, stay humble, stay aware. I hope you got some informative information in this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. God damn, grandma, my voice is better.